Good morning, dear students. My name is Jacupova. I am English teacher in Nazarbayev Intellectual Schools in Physical Math direction. I am going to present Aynur Bakhtiyarova's lesson. She is English teacher in Nazarbayev Intellectual School in Physical Mathematical direction. And today we are going to devote our lesson to IELTS task writing, task 2. So you will learn how to do the structure of writing task 2, how to recognize type of IELTS task 2 questions, how to know that examiner grades your essays, and you learn how to plan writing task 2 in IELTS. Let's start. Before we'll start our writing task, I would like you to look at the picture and try to guess the topic. Well, I can see that you are good at guessing. As you see, there are two pictures. In the first picture, you can see pencil and hand, and second number is number 2. Yeah? What do you think? How are these pictures connected? Well, let's compare your answers. Yes, you're absolutely right. It is writing task 2. Before starting the above mentioned topic, I want to give overall view how to start writing task 2 and what type of questions you meet in this task. And then we will talk about planning the essay. Well, let's start our lesson. Dear students, there is a question to think. Which topics you might discuss in your IELTS writing task 2? Right, you are. An opinion, a point of view, a problem. Well done. Let's look at this slide. So, how many words we have to write in task 2, guys? Yes, you are absolutely right. We must write 250 words. Students, if we write about 240 words, is it okay? Will it be affected the score? Yes, it will. So what type of questions in task 2 do you know? Opinion questions, solutions, suggestions, discursive, problem, and solution. So let's come back to our line graph. Please look at it very attentively. Which of the first declined, whereas two others were increasing. Please write in the gaps. So the first one was opinion questions. The second one was solution suggestions. The third discursive, and the fourth it was problem and solution. So how many paragraphs should be in essay? What are they? Of course, they should be 3 paragraphs. Now I would like to ask you to put these paragraphs in order. Certainly you are right. Number 1, introduction. Number 2, body. And number 3, conclusion. So what kind of opinion questions could you put? So you need to put introduction, thesis, the first reason, the second, and conclusion. In those cases, if it is solution suggestions, you need to put introduction, thesis, solution, solution 1, and solution 2, and certainly conclusion. Let's go to the next slide. That is discursive questions and problem solution parts. So think a little bit. So number 1, introduction, thesis, advantages, disadvantages, and conclusion. And in problems and solutions type of essay, you need to give introduction, thesis, problems, solutions, and of course conclusion. So let's look at the phrase. To write a good IELTS essay, you need to get into your examiner's head. How do you understand it, guys? It means you've got to understand what makes you gain and lose marks, because once you do, you can't go wrong. So task response, it means that your essays show that you understood and covered the topic from all its sides, aspects. Coherence and cohesion means how well you connected the paragraphs and sentences inside each paragraph. Lexical resource means vocabulary and different types of sentences, simple and complex. You should be able to use words and their synonyms. Grammatical range and accuracy. It means spelling and grammar of sentences. You should be able to spell the words correctly. Do not forget the articles a or an and the. The punctuation is also important, and so on. You get the picture, don't you? So what do you think? Why do we have this picture? So this hamburger looks like our essay, or vice versa. Essay looks like a hamburger. So let's look at the content of our hamburger. The top part is introduction. The next layer is topic sentence. The third is supporting sentence 1, supporting sentence 2, supporting sentence 3, and conclusion. So all these layers form the structure of good essay. Now let's look at each layer separately. So topic statement. You need to tell them what you are going to say. Like, I'm going to talk about what an interesting vegetable rutabagas are. And then of course you give some extra information. Then you move to the point 1. You need to say what you're going to say. Like, I'm going to talk about how to cook them. Point 2. You need to talk about what you are going to say about this hamburger in this stage. So you can talk about the history. Point 3. You need to talk about their origins. And the fourth point is you will talk about how to discuss health benefits. And the last point is you need to mention any interesting facts. And of course, when you finalize, you need to give conclusion, like recap the main points, summarize the main points, call to action. So let's look again to our essay plan and make a mind map. So as you see, we make it like a map where there are many branches from the main idea of essay plan. So you have a topic in the middle, and then you start with introduction, point 1, point 2, 3, point 4, 5, and finally conclusion. If you follow this structure, it will be easier for you to do the right track work. So let's summarize all our recommendations. You need to write on a given topic directly. Write in general, not about your personal experience, but what is going on in the world. Read task instructions and write about every little thing that is requested. So let's look at small steps through essay 1. You need to read and classify the question, whether it is opinion question, solutions, suggestions, discursive, or problem or solution. These are the most important steps to move further. Next, you need to brainstorm and make notes of your ideas. So when you plan your essay, you need to select the ideas that you are going to use. Decide which are the most important and group them, so that your essay has a structure and isn't just a fragmented catalog of ideas. Drafting is so important. Write your essay on your answer sheet, following the plan you wrote in the preparation stage. Make sure that your handwriting is legible. It means it can be easily read by experts. Reviewing. So in reviewing, you need to check that you've written the best IELTS writing answer you can. Because in reviewing, you improve your work. And at this stage, you need to make sure that you've answered the task fully, all aspects of the task. Check that your style and tone are appropriate and consistent. Make sure your paragraphing is clear and logical. All your supporting points are relevant to your answer to the task. Look for grammar and spelling mistakes. Now, let's watch a video.
This lesson is going to cover what you should do to plan your essay. So you've already read the question. Now what in the world do you do next? Well, step 1 is to make sure that you understand the question. Yes, I know, this is what I went over in my last video over and over and again. But you really need to make sure that you're answering the question that is being asked. Because once again, if you're not answering the question that's being asked, you can write the best essay in the world, it still receives a 0. So make sure you understand it. Once you understand the question, your next step is going to be brainstorming. Brainstorming is just getting all of your ideas out on paper. And it should be fast. Brainstorming really shouldn't be any longer than 2 to 3 minutes. And during those minutes, you just keep writing. You just keep jotting ideas down of things that you could include in your response to this question. Step 3 is to create a graphic organizer. So you have your brainstormed list of ideas. Some of them are good, some of them are not so good. You need to take a minute or two to pick out the good ideas. And then from the good ideas, you need to create an organizer that works for you. One very basic graphic organizer that you can use is this one. You start with your main idea in a box. Coming from your main idea, you have your major points that support your main idea, Or if this is a persuasive essay, you have your arguments to support your side, either for or against. I have 3 shown here. Sometimes prompts tell you how many you should have. Other times they do not. If the prompt does not tell you how many supporting points or how many arguments you should include, 3 is a good general number to use. So if it doesn't tell you, I would strongly suggest going with 3. And then on your organizer, from each point or argument, you have details that further support it. Okay. Again, magic number being 3. 3 supporting details for each main point will help you build a really strong, developed paragraph. You might ask where in the world you need to pull those details from. Well, depending upon your topic, you can pull them from any number of places. If your topic is related to literature, you should probably pull ideas directly from the literature that it's about. Maybe it was about a reading assignment, an article. You want to pull details directly from that article to support your point. You can pull them from your own life. You can pull them from events in history, news articles, statistics, current events. It all depends upon what the topic is where you're going to pull these details from. But you should always have details that support your main points and main arguments. And again, 3 is kind of the magic number. This graphic organizer may work great for you. It works pretty much for any essay topic. Or if you have another graphic organizer that you like to use personally, you can certainly use that to plan your essay. Really, the main thing is we want to make sure that you have it planned, that you have it organized in some way. And then step 4 is drafting your essay. Please don't confuse this with planning. It is not the same thing. Planning should be done with a graphic organizer of some sort. Drafting is actually writing out your paragraphs. So many students, when they're given scrap paper to plan, they draft, but they skip the graphic organizer, they skip the brainstorming. Each of these steps is really crucial in making sure that you're writing a well-developed essay. So please make sure that you plan with the graphic organizer first, and then you draft before you write your final copy. Some questions I'd like you to answer in your submission box, please. After you've answered the questions in the submission box of your assignment, please make sure that you submit it. If you have any questions, don't forget to call or email me. Thanks.
So, let's look at helpful phrases which show 2 sides of argument, which help us to add something, to deny what was said before. So some people, phrases to show 2 sides of argument. Some people prefer, we must acknowledge. Nevertheless, many people hold the opinion. Others, however, disagree. Phrases to add something. Also, furthermore, in addition, moreover. Phrases to deny what was said before. Although, however, even if, on the other hand. Phrases, for example, for instance, in particular, to illustrate. Phrases for result, as a result, therefore, eventually. Phrases for conclusion, finally, to conclude with, in conclusion. Now it's time for your home task, guys. It has been said, not everything that is learned is contained in books. Compare and contrast knowledge gained from experience with knowledge gained from books. In your opinion, which source is more important and why? Now please choose the smile which shows your satisfaction with this lesson. Did you like it, or how much did you like it? Thank you for your attention.